Welcome back to Benton Homestead. Today we are picking up right where our last garage video left off. I've decided we're probably going to work around these things while we remodel here in the garage because they're just too cumbersome to move. This is all that's left in the front of the garage, so we're really making progress. The next step will be to break these down, but I'm working by myself today and I'm cleaning the guest house, so I'm going to do another project. Most of this is really good wood and some nice long pieces of PVC pipe. So we need to get these down from the rafters, but first we need to find a place to put them. This is a shed next door to our property, and the owner doesn't live anywhere near here, but they've given us permission to use this as we see fit, and they've also said that they don't want anything in the shed, so they said we're welcome to clean it out. I've already gotten rid of many crates of old glass and some broken crates and probably half a dozen large bags of garbage, but I think we can just tidy this up a little bit more and make some nice space for us to store all that wood that's up in the garage rafters. I've already got a couple garbage bags set aside over here from the last time I worked in this shed, and you can see that it's mostly appears to be old rugs, some plastic buckets, and some torn up clothes and umbrellas. It is a pretty cool aesthetic with that tree growing up there, though. Good job, tree. So just a mishmash of stuff. Probably not much useful in here, but we might as well help clean it up. Alright, well, that was maybe only an hour of work, and we made all these garbage bags and made a small dent over here on the right-hand side. So a little bit of improvement just in a small amount of time. I also ended up with all these glass bottles, which I have cleaned up for recycling next week, some newspaper for getting fires started, a nice metal bucket, a new watering can for Evan, a little bit more of scrap metal recycling, and two particularly nice crates, and this cool wooden mallet. This is the reality of it. There's a lot of hard work and a lot of dirty work days. Alright, I was able to put about another 90 minutes into cleaning out this shed, and you can see I've got a lot of the wood neatly stacked here. I am, of course, not done. As with every organizing project, you have to make a mess before you can clean it up. I've collected some of my favorite crates here that I would like to take home, and look what we've uncovered in the back. I didn't think there'd be any more treasures in this shed, but once I removed some crates that were in front of this, we can see that there is an antique wooden rice thresher back here. That's pretty exciting. Not sure what kind of shape it's in until we get it out and check it out. Pretty incredible. It hasn't completely rotted away, considering it's right underneath this big hole in the shed roof. We've covered it with a tarp temporarily until we can get it out of here. Got a little more cleaned out of the way here so we can get a better look at it.
Timber! So the legs are all rotted off where it was in contact with the ground, but it's still a perfectly functional piece of farm equipment, so we might get around to fixing it back up. So you fill this hopper with rice, and then this lever controls the speed at which the rice empties out. And then all this is doing is it's a fan really that's blowing air, and this is sort of broken so we need to fix it, but it's blowing air so that the rice, the edible part, which is heavier, falls straight down, and you collect it in a bucket over here, and then the holes get blown off to the side. These two bags are full of poultry manure.
And we've got this stroller here, which will need to be further broken down to get the plastic bits off before it goes to the metal recycling. The rest of this over here, these long plastic metal pipes, I'll do another little bit of work over here and saw these down so they fit in the disposable garbage bags. And then this metal here we'll take to the scrapyard, and we'll go ahead and get rid of this tire for them as well. Alright, the sun's getting ready to set, but this is looking pretty good here for the agreement that we have with the owner to do some cleanup work here in the shed in exchange for a place to store our wood that we have here and the wood from the garage. Alright, today is the day We've been putting off work here in the garage for a while to do some more pressing things, and today Evan and I have some time to work together to get all of these things down from the rafters. This is one of the critical things that needs to be done before we get a new roof. So up until now, most of these boards have come out pretty easily, but as you can see, we've got a bit of a predicament over here. All these boards are probably going to come crashing down, all those little short ones.
I'm okay.
Alright, let's clean this new mess up. Alright, we got this all cleaned up, stacked neatly over here. This garage is looking much more empty than when we started. If you don't remember, it was literally flowing out the front. We've got some metal recycling over here. We'll clean up this pipe, chop it down, put it in the garbage bags. I'd say that's a pretty fair trade. Back over here in the garage, we've got some burnable wood stacked up here, and we're just gonna have to wait to finish cleaning up because we've got some guests arriving soon. But now that everything's out of the rafters, it's a lot easier to admire the woodwork here and the joinery. This is just a simple garage structure, but it's just awesome. Interconnected pieces of wood. Well, the sun's going down, but we still have a little bit of energy after picking peppers today, so we thought we'd give a whack at tearing apart some of this furniture. Now, some of this is so far gone that I'm just literally able to tear it apart with my hands, and then the screws come out so I can collect those as we go. Okay, so I'm not really filming this because I'm trying to be fast and considerate of my neighbors while I am doing all this loud banging, and Evie's not here to film because he's still picking tomatoes and tomatillos, but trust me, this part's really fun. Alright, working our way down there. I have set aside a few more items to just give some second thoughts about before I destroy them. I figure I can always destroy them later, but I can't put them back together again if I change my mind. If you ever get a chance to do anything like this, I highly recommend it. Alright. That's good. That's good.
Rip out some more stuff. It looks good.
Alright, it's getting to the point that it's too dark to film here, and we're almost done. But as you can see, we've gotten a lot of progress done today. See how far we can get. Alright, this might be our final work day for cleanup, prep. I brought the shop vac. We're going to get all this organized and do our very first vacuuming in here. Now, one seemingly random side project to this quest today was to come inspect my 4 remaining shoji screens of this size. So these 2 here have been deemed my rejects as the most rough shape because they're both broken in pieces. Now we know that Evan can fix these. We've purchased the replacement sticks before, and he's already done some repair work on the shoji screens over at our house, but I don't want to add to his workload if possible, so these 2 broken ones are going back in my stack to be fixed later. So the only reason that I didn't clean these ones up last year was mostly because of the time constraints of our startup business visa and our schedule for getting our guest house open and running. These ones just need a little bit more sanding than the others. It looks like it had washi paper put on and replaced a couple of times without removing all the old glue. So it's just going to take me a little bit of work to get these ones as pretty as the other ones that are already in the guest house. It's just a little minor update that I'm going to cover in an upcoming video discussing how we're getting ready for our second winter, hosting our guest house in a traditional style Japanese home and how we keep guests warm and cozy. The 2 additional shoji screens are going to be cleaned up with fresh washi paper and put here to separate the doma from the rest of the living space. The shoji screens are very useful when it comes to keeping hot or cold air in or out. So being able to close this span here would be able to keep warm air in from the kitchen. Oh my gosh, guys, this is perfect timing. I was just getting ready. I got all my wood sorted and I was going to carry it over to our temporary holding place. And one of our neighbors came over and said, in Japanese to Evan, he was here to translate, she said, "Hey, do you have anything burnable?" Yes, we do. Now, I had just taken the time to get everything neatly sorted into different sizes and shapes for easy storage, until at which point we can finally make the biochar out of a lot of this scrap wood that we've been holding on to, and a lot of it we will continue to hold on to until we have time to make biochar. And while I would absolutely love to just spend a couple days making a whole bunch of biochar, I would also absolutely love to just give this away and have someone else burn it for their own use. And she uses it for burning stumps while she is expanding her garden space and cleaning things up. So I imagine over winter she has some stumps planned for burning. So they will still go to a good use. Yay!
Yeah, looks good.
Let's see inside. Unfortunately, it can't be saved. In case you were wondering, this is what one of those screens breaks down to. Here's the aftermath. Tearing apart those 4 screens. And this is the second truckload going over to our neighbor, who is thankfully going to use them to burn stumps, and we are really getting there, guys. We got a little bit of stuff over here. These items are possibly going to the garbage center. These gutters might be able to be reused. I haven't made a decision on that yet. But boy, I am about to start vacuuming. This project is 20 months in the making. We purchased this house last May, which is 19 months ago, and the owner let us start cleaning the garage early, which is 20 months ago. We have cleaned this, emptied it, filled it, used it. This has been integral to our guest house renovation. Now it is nearly cleaned out and ready for its own renovation. This is so exciting. And I suppose this brings us to the end of our final garage renovation prep video series, as this is now as prepped as it's going to get and ready for the next steps. As always, thanks for coming along on our silly adventures here at Benton Homestead. These videos come out based on the projects that we're working on at the time, so it's sort of hard to say what exactly is going to be coming up next, but I do have a video planned very soon covering our first year of Benton Guesthouse. We've been open for just over a year now, and I'm working on compiling all the data so we can have a really numbers-specific look at our guest house and our future plans. It's pretty much perfect timing that this project is getting to this point, because we are getting ready in just a few days to go to Tokyo for 3 nights. We've been living on beautiful Ōmishima Island here in the Japanese countryside for just under 2 years, and we have left the island for 1 night a total of 2 times. So this will be our first time getting away and getting to the big city for 3 nights. So I guess it's sort of like a mini Christmas vacation. We're going to go visit our childhood friend Brandon. We've known him since junior high, and he just happens to live in Tokyo. So we're going to go see what the big city has to offer. Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. It might be mid-December, but these Oaxacan sunflowers are growing beautifully.